Good morning. Thanks for joining us on today's edition of Newspapers Today. My name is Oluchi Amaga. Yes, I'm going to start the review of today's paper. The copies from the Vanguard newspaper. Yes, the front page we have how politicians still threaten credible polls. INEC source. What is this story making the headlines on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this Monday morning? And it comes with the riders, IREV, Ratex, wheel check rigging, how Nigerians can key in. Immediate access to upload polling unit result by voters is key. What voters must know. INEC still averted rigging plot in Anambra governorship poll. That story is on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Yes, below the picture stories there. Please let's have it on the screen. Qatar World Cup opens with profit despite criticisms. PDP crisis, we are still open to reconciliation, says G5 others. 2023, I won't step down for anybody. MPP's party to be. Government kidnap Kwara cleric, son sibling demand 100 million naira. Still on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this Monday morning. 2023 is turn of Southeast to produce next president, Ohaneze. Terror alert, we notified FG, says UK envoy, lying. These are some of the stories on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this Monday morning. Next is the Punch. And the Punch is punching it this morning with this story. NFIU flags 150 trillion naira transactions. EFCC tracks candidates pending. It is the story making the headlines on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. And it comes with the riders, suspicious transactions up by 22.91% amid rising political activities. EFCC intensifies surveillance on APC, PDP, others campaign funds. Banks get fresh EFCC, NFIU directives as 2023 polls draw closer. Still on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, we have this stalemate aggrieved PDP governors with fresh action. And the story is above the masthead of the Punch newspaper. Nigeria risk food crisis in 2023, says IMF. Next is the Nation. And the Nation has this 2023 G5 governors allies to sustain anti-Atiku moves. And it comes with the riders, aggrieved PDP governors, chieftains meet in Lagos. Aggrieved PDP governors, chieftains meet in Lagos. VK Makinde or Tom Ipiazo insist on IU sack. Moving now to the Daily Sun. And the Daily Sun is leading with this. Excitement as World Cup begins in Qatar. Military gets order to tame terrorists before elections. We've been directed to stop criminals and government from disrupting polls. Soldiers. That is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of the Daily Sun. And below the picture story there, protest as NAF gets lion's share in National Assembly new appointment. That story is below the picture story on the front page of the Daily Sun. And the point is next. And the point is pointing out with this story, controversy, suspicion, trail formation of Nigeria Air as misgivings grow over shareholding structure. But it's the story making the banner headlines on the front page of the Point newspaper this morning. And it comes with the riders. Minister accused of running one-man show. Lack of transparency. National carrier won't fly. AON stakeholders. No going back. Surika insists. Yes, we have other stories. Investors spent 8.7 billion naira on equities as Nigeria forex reserves drop by $14.11 million in 1 week. These are some of the stories on the front page of the Point newspaper. A quick look at what this day has for us this morning. And this day is leading with this story. Kwakwanso, I will never step down for Atiku Abubakar. That is the story making the banner headlines on the front page of this day newspaper. Yes, Blueprint has this story on Kwakwanso. It said, Kwakwanso at NGO Forum, I have no plan to step down for Atiku, and it comes with the riders. Says I left PDP on principle ideology. President Jonathan's men rally support for Tinubu. Insists on power shift to the south. G5 governors form integrity group. These stories are on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. Next is the Nigerian Tribune. And the Nigerian Tribune says, PDP G5 expands to integrity group. Says PDP, a great party, reconciliation remains open. Our party is all about integrity. G5 position challenge with Atiku's campaign spokesperson. Atiku didn't fight Obasanjo, he only defended constitution, democracy. Melaye, we will ensure evolution of power to tackle insecurity. Okowa. This is a story making the banner headlines on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. We have other stories as well. Prices of coking gas soared by 70% in October. Oyetola emerges best governor on efficiency of public expenditure. 2 of remaining abducted FGC Yauri students have given birth. 4 brothers pregnant. Parents. There is need for negotiation to renegotiate Nigeria's huge debt. Kwakwanso. These are some of the stories that made it to the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Next is the Daily Times. And the Daily Times is also leading with the story about Kwakwanso. However, below the picture stories there, we have this: no underage person will vote in 2023. INEC insists. That story is below the picture story on the front page of the Daily Times. And it comes with the writer's pledges to probe confirmed infractions in voters' register. Yes, we have other stories as well. Why electoral violence persists despite signing of peace accord. Let's take a look at what the New Telegraph has for us this morning. And it's leading with the story, the crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party. It says PDP crisis, G5 governors, judge, others meet, float integrity group. Say window for reconciliation remains open. We are face of the struggle. Our leaders here are backing us. Makinde. That story is leading on the front page of the New Telegraph. Yes, we have other stories below the picture stories there. 2023, cabal, military officers lobby to replace service chiefs post with $1 million. CSO alleges. 2023, votes only God-fearing leaders on night tells Nigerians. The Guardian is next, and it says next governor to inherit 71.5 trillion naira debts, liabilities after May 29. That is a story making the banner headlines on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. That's Monday morning, and it comes with the rider. FG blames oil theft for massive borrowing. Economists prescribes securitization for flexible repayment. Help government to pursue growth policies. There is so much corruption in bureaucratic processes, says Utomi. These are some of the stories on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. And the last but not the least is the Daily Trust. And the Daily Trust has this story. Southeast gets lion's share of natives' controversial recruitment. Northeast, Northwest get lowest. CSOs demand accountability. Relatives of board members among recruits. Why we hired more staff. Still on the front page of the Daily Trust, Nigeria to earn 32 trillion naira from North new oil fields. NAF airstrikes kill bandits, destroy camps in Kaduna and Zamfara. Ecuador coast past hapless host Qatar in World Cup opener. Yes, these are some of the stories we have on the front pages of National Dailies with us this morning. And I have my regular guest in the house who will enlighten these stories for us. Dr. Nkanjus.
Yes,
you're welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, especially with the World Cup that has just begun.
Yes.
It's lively up my...
Even though Nigeria is not participating?
But for the love of the game.
Oh, right. Yes, for the love of the game. Yes, we are going straight to politics. The Vanguard is actually leading with the story, how politicians still threaten credible polls.
Yes, they are threatening by attack on one another.
Okay.
Although police is here to confirm that. I want to believe it's not true. If it is true, then it's unfortunate. Something has to be done fast so that it does not affect the election.
Okay. Something has to be done fast. Something like what?
Like making sure that they nip it in the bud. Arrest those who are concerned. I think you heard what happened in Oyo State. One man, all these motorists, AURTW, was caught to have been maybe bringing down the posters of Ashiwaju. That man has been arrested now. That's the kind of thing I'm referring to, that something has to be done fast.
All right, thank you very much. Still talking politics. The Daily Times has the story. No underage person will vote in 2023. INEC insists.
I hope it comes to pass.
Okay.
Because we have seen some pictures of underage that were, but INEC rationalized it by saying that it was done deliberately to show people that we don't want this kind of people. That's what they said. I hope it is true.
Okay. Now, while still hoping that it is true, the crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party seems to be persisting. As the Nation says, 2023 G5 governors allies to sustain anti-Atiku moves.
In fact, they call themselves integrity group now. I hope there will not be unity group on the other side. For me, I still believe it is possible.
Okay.
Because what PDP is saying is that they cannot just remove that chairman like that. That is in their constitution. That they have to call NEC for them. I said, call NEC now. I overheard one of their spokesperson yesterday on channels, one Yoruba, I've forgotten his name now. He was saying that those aggrieved should call for NEC so that they can remove him. But they won't listen to them. And they are still saying that there is a window of opportunity for them to come back. For me, I think PDP is doing itself in as far as this is concerned. They have the knife and the yam. They can solve the problem if they want to. But they don't want the 5G. I don't want to call them G5. I want to call them 5G. You know, 5G is the latest form of.
Yes,
so you see, there is a statement that if my enemy is making a mistake, I allow him so that I can benefit from it. I think that's the way other political parties are saying now. Continue to make mistakes and do yourself in. But it's unfortunate, honest. I would have wanted them to solve the problem so that they face the competition squarely and see who wins and who loses.
All right, the Blueprint has this story. I have no plan to step down for Atiku. That's coming from Kwapanso. And it says, ex-President Jonathan's men rally support for Tinubu.
Yes, that is expected now. This is politics. Okay. You go where it pays you, where the food is sweeter past or is the sweetest, you go there. When I say soup, you know what I mean. Then for the Kwankwaso issue, there was a time it was being said that it was to step down for the APC candidate. But now they're saying that it's to step down for PDP candidate. So which is which? But for me, you cannot be the politician. I cannot put my money on it that he may not step down. But for who, I may not know. But he could still step down.
So you're simply saying that in politics and in
Anything,
sports.
you can say that several times again. That's exactly what I.
All right. The Daily Times, the Daily Sun now, it says military gets order to tame terrorists before elections.
Should they get order? What's their job? They are expected to decimate anything that would disrupt the smooth running of the country. The first line charge of their job is to protect lives and properties from any aggression. But I think recently they are doing that. I was watching telly yesterday when I saw them throwing bomb at these insurgents. That we want to see more of that.
All right.
There should be no mercy.
All right. We have this story. Next government. That's from the front page of the Guardian. Next government to inherit 71.5 trillion naira debts, liabilities after the 29.
Only.
71.5 trillion naira.
I said only.
Is it
That
so little?
It could be more than that.
Okay.
They are only mentioning that. But the way they are borrowing, I don't know if you have read this now. I learned they want to borrow money from US now to buy stationaries. I was talking to that this morning somewhere else. It's unfortunate. To buy what? Stationery. Do you know public borrowing is supposed to be for investment, supposed to be for infrastructural development? You know, we have infrastructural deficit in Nigeria or in Africa generally. Not that we shouldn't borrow, or not that we could not borrow, but we should borrow for something that will bring returns for the people, that is for the citizenry in future. So that when we pay, we know that we have done something, not for stationaries for God's sake. Are we cost? Is something wrong with us for stationaries? What about the ones we bought last year? You know, they are not perishable items. They are something we could replenish. It's unfortunate that I believe that some people in this government are embarrassing this government.
All right.
Seriously.
Now, let's move now to this story on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. It says Buhari, Oshibajo, Lawan, second-term governors, orders to receive billions in severance pay.
I just said it now. You see, in financial management, even public finance, there are 3 levels of financial management. You are either prodigal, frugal, or prudent. Prodigality is known to all of us. Our government, as at today, are prodigal. They are just spending money as if money is getting out of fashion. The least I expected is frugality, if they are not even prudent. I'm sure you know the difference between the 3. Prodigality is spending money anyhow. Frugality is not exhausting everything you have. Prudence is multiplying what you have for it to be more than you got in the initial stage.
So you're saying that financial prudence
it's not there at all. Even frugality is not there.
Okay.
Let alone prudence.
All right. Now let's still on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Please let's have it. Prices of cooking gas soared by 70%.
And that is what the common man have. You cannot go to the wood to cut firewood. You cannot use charcoal. Kerosene, no go area. The gas we are now managing is still getting skyrocketed in pricing. I cannot wait for this government to get out of office. Honest. Let them just go and let us reset this country on a clean slate.
All right. The New Telegraph. It says 2023. Cabal military officers lobby to replace service chiefs. Service chief post with $1 million. CSOs alleged.
Anje Kurukoto. That is, we are waiting for this. So some people are still planning to what they will do in the next dispensation. God will not allow them.
All right. We have this. The Point newspaper. Controversy, suspicion, trail formation of Nigerian Air.
You see, in Nigeria, what we chose was mixed economy. You know, there are 3 economic theory when it comes to economic management anywhere in the world. We are either using classical theorists. In other words, you just leave the economy like that, it will rejuvenate itself.
Okay.
The Keynesian means government does everything. The monetarist economists believe that private sector will do it. We chose both. In other words, we are not choosing socialism, which is that of Keynesian. We are not choosing capitalism. We chose both. I am saying that those who are saying it should not happen should rethink. It's only government will intervene. If we want to have our own airline, let us we had it before now. Nigeria Airways then. Now we are having Air Nigeria, isn't it?
Okay. Now, they said minister accused of running one-man show, lack of transparency. Now, if we look at the way IBDC was privatized. Don't you
Yes.
think it is actually the fear that people are talking, trying to talk against?
As it is now, are we running it well? It is the private sector that's are there now. All these Ari Care and this what's this man's name? The one that has this private airline. But we are saying that government should come in. Why? That's why I explained what I explained, that in Nigeria we use a little to the right, a little to the left from the center. Let us run pari passu. In other words, once we have private sector, let us have government side so that we can now choose the one that pays us. When government does it, it's expected not to be as expensive as those of the private.
So what is the place of transparency there?
Transparency will have to come in.
Those that they are accusing the minister of not being transparent enough. The same way IBDC, I'm still insisting,
Yes.
the same way IBDC was privatized in quote, and government still budgets for it from taxpayers'
You
money.
see, the airline sector now is like on private sector because it's being run by individuals. We are not trying to big in government into it. Do you understand? If government now comes into it, definitely is going to checkmate the monopoly that the private sector of it is having, and they don't want it. That's why they are saying they don't. For me, I want to support that. Let us have the two so that we have alternative to choose from.
All right. Yes, we have this. Investors spent 8.7 billion naira on equities as Nigeria's forex reserves dropped by $14.11 million.
We will continue to spend money on equity.
1 week.
Yes. What is equity? Equity means securities. That is, you buy shares. And when you buy shares, you are an investor. If you are an investor, you are a risk taker. To take risk, there is no hard and fast rule that you get returns for your investment.
Okay.
What we call ROS, that is return on capital employed. There is no hard and anywhere in the world, there is no guarantee that you get your money back. If it is bearish, you have to wait until it is become bullish. If it is bullish, wait for when it is bearish.
Okay.
That is expensive is not the issue. Take a risk and plunge into it and see whether you get your returns.
All right. Now, let's quickly touch on the Daily Trust. It says Southeast gets lion shares of natives' controversial recruitment.
I hope that happens. But Southeast have been clamoring that they don't want to be part of Nigeria.
Okay.
Anytime I hear that they are getting a good deal, I'm always happy.
All right.
They are best to stay here.
And this is also coming as protests as North gets lion share of National Assembly appointments.
Okay, they got it somewhere.
Yes.
They are not getting it in another. And they should continue to engage. The last time I saw Bola Tinubu, he went to the east to engage Igbo businessmen.
Okay.
And on TVC, I saw them, they were so elated about it that they want him to talk to them. That whatever promises, they will put it on video. If it becomes, that is if, not when. There are two different, that they are going to show it to you that these are the things we promise us. That's the kind of thing I want. Let him engage them. Let him talk to them.
All right, let's quickly touch this before we leave. Ecuador cost to pass hapless host Qatar in World Cup opener.
I watched
People
him.
have actually said that how can you host a World Cup without preparing a team for it?
They prepared a team. In fact, do you know that they were the champion of Asia? That's why we have African. They were the champion of Asia part of football body. They became, and they played a lot of friendlies. I was utterly disappointed by them. I expected them to play more than they did. You look at towards the end of the match, they now rose up. I said, far too late to cry.
All right, far too late to cry. Thank you so much, Dr. Yankandi.
Anytime.
For making it to the program as usual. I also want to say very thanks to our viewer. Thank you for always being there. My name is Oluchi Amuda. Keep enjoying the rest of our programs. Good morning.